Welcome, Passyunk. What a scene here in London. We have a huge crowd of Bears fans out here at Passyunk in London, the Waterloo area. This is fantastic, talking to so many fans who, quite frankly, with these lights, I can't see you right now at all, but I know you're out there. And I mean, hearing from people that have been listening to us from the very start, have been listening to Hoge and Johns for basically a decade now, and just an amazing group of loyal Bears fans here. A lot of them from the UK. A lot of them came all the way over here too. With us on our trip. Yeah. It finally, we've been here for a couple of days, but now it finally feels like we're getting closer to game time with all these fans and stuff. By the way, Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Bragg's with you. Nick coming back from the countryside where he was covering Bear stuff. Carm was out there earlier too. What's going on, guys?
Dude, it's been awesome so far. Shout out to Passyunk. Rob working behind the bar, the general manager here.
Let's go, Rob.
Killing it. It's a sweet bar, dude. Like this is it's got a little Philly vibe to it. So, you know, a little back home vibes too.
Yeah, you can't see this, but there's a mural of Nick Foles, of all people, right above us on this beautiful brick arch that Greg claims he can build.
Yes, I can build that 100%. Yeah. Chicago Bears legend, Nick Foles.
Yeah,
so,
there he is.
We're
so a little bit of Bears flavor.
A little bit of Bears flavor. And we got the Bears game on the TV too to celebrate, you know, the Panthers victory, you know.
Well, just getting back from practice, walking in here 5 minutes ago, and Braggs had everybody lined up to boo me as I walked in, which I thought was a great job by Gregory.
Well, we were gonna chuck glasses at you, so we settled with just the boo.
Yeah, but no, it was just to walk in here and see everybody's just huge smile on my face. It's awesome, and this feels real, Hoge. And it was a fun day out of practice. A lot going on out there today.
Yeah, we heard from George McCaskey today. That was a little unexpected thrown in our lap today. And we got some audio that you got. I know you talked to a number of different players. There's some interesting stuff on Jaquan Brisker's concussion. We're going to bring all that to you. We also have a new T-shirt to share with you.
What?
So, yes, we have a CHGO London T-shirt.
Wow.
To commemorate the trip across the pond, and you can get that at store.allcitynetwork.com to buy yours today.
It's a nice looking shirt right there. That's I mean, the graphics department, they just never stop doing things.
No.
Who came up with that? Not you, Gregory, not me.
Our guy Eric.
Yeah, right, of course. I understand.
The guy who does all the graphics.
guy that does the designs.
Right. Well, I wanted you guys to shout out Eric, and I got it done in a convoluted way.
You do the accents. Eric does the designs.
That's correct, Gregory.
We all have a role here.
And there will be Pam Part 2 coming up later in the show.
I'm so excited. I know you sent it in. I didn't watch it, so I'm going to be experiencing Pam.
Yeah, Pam and I had about 25 minutes today.
Oh,
and
sorry for Pam.
No, Pam, you don't need to say things like that. Pam and I are that's my best friend in London at this point. I mean, she could be top.
That's accurate.
At this point, Pam and I are we're kindred spirits, me and Pam.
Steven, can we also show people the practice scene out there today? Pretty cool setup the Bears have. Again, we told you about this yesterday, but they are out in the country. Here's a look at their actual practice field. I mean, this is just like a country club out in the English countryside, and you can paint a football field in some grass and have a practice. It looks pretty good. Our guy Nicholas Moreano was out there experiencing practice today,
and Nick will be popping in there as Hoge mentioned a second ago. We'll have probably 30 minutes or so, but I mean, when we leave there, I'm going out of a golf course. Like, hey, Mr. Uber, can you please pick me up at hole 1? And I didn't get to see the practice field because I wanted to get here in time. But it's an odd setting, and we'll hear from Jaylon coming up here. But I think some of the players are loving it, and then others of them are wishing that they were downtown and there was just a little more action. I mean, they're out there.
Oh, like in London.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of that going on. And by the way, the last time the Bears came here, when they were here on a short week, they did stay downtown. They were at a nice JW Marriott in the city, and they would actually bus out to, basically a rugby stadium to have practice. They only had one practice, though, because they came out here so weak. By the way, the Jaguars travel plans got a little screwed up with the hurricane.
Yep.
They were coming out a little bit later than the Bears, and I know that got delayed. I don't have all that information in front of me right now, but I do know that they were they were impacted a little bit and delayed coming out here. So that'll end up being somewhat of a factor this week.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's all about routine, right? Professional athletes are creatures of habit. So, I know that the Bears wanted to put them out at the countryside because they said they wanted to. Matt Eberflus said they wanted to create like a training camp type experience for a week. Like if you go to Indianapolis and have a joint practice, you're there, do a few practices, and then have a game. Try to simulate that. So I think that's what they're trying to do. There's obviously it's not going to be exactly what you're used to. And the Jags are going to have their own hurdles to overcome, and how that affects game day. At the end of the day, when the ball gets kicked, none of that really matters. But as the week goes in, there is a certain amount of factor to it.
Here comes another cocktail for you, Gregory.
Let's go.
There you go, buddy.
Let's go. We got two. I'll finish this one first. Wait, we're here to have
Cheers.
fun.
I don't know where yours is,
We're here
Carman,
to
but
have fun.
we are.
I'll
Work hard, play hard. That is the CHGO model, baby. Let's go.
What time did you go to bed last night?
Like 3 a.m.
I made it to
Hey, that's 9 p.m. in
Well,
Chicago.
hey, tonight,
You went to bed early.
So there's a Thursday night game here tonight, which is 1 a.m.
Yeah.
London time. So we're not going to bed until like 4 or 5 a.m. We got to see this NFC game through as Seattle's playing.
And tomorrow night, Carmel plays at 1:30 in the morning.
Carmel, 1:30 in the morning. We're not sleeping tomorrow night either.
I made it to 2:30 last night. It was one of the greatest accomplishments
Who's
in
going to run the
my
special
elder
teams
years.
unit? Who's going to run the special teams
My
unit?
guy, Patrick Tian, he
Oh,
knows what
no.
he's doing.
Don't
He's
Oh,
very
no.
good at what he does. We're going to be just fine.
This sounds like a disaster.
Wow. Wow. He's doing to me what he does to Cole every time Cole's here.
This is you should appreciate the fact that Hoge left his true passion, which is his high school football team, to hang out with you, Gregory.
And you're true.
No, I didn't come here to hang out with him. I came here to hang out with all these people.
That's right.
Yeah. Carm, you were out there today. What do we need to know off the top?
So I just think it's interesting listening to you, kind of Gregory, talk about how this is the setup and routine. Some guys are walking in there who they make available to us, and they've got a smile on their face, and they're bounding through, and they've acclimated. Some other dudes right now, they look tired, they look miserable. Get me out of here, get me back home. So it's an interesting combination. This is definitely not routine. You're in the middle of the countryside. Nobody knows where they are, other than the fact they're in London.
I know you talked to Jaylon Johnson. I'm not sure if we have that. I don't think we have that. We don't have that, but I can tell you what he said because but you were talking to him and what's it like being out here? And you were like, would you rather be at Soldier Field? And he was like, yeah, I have a suite at Soldier Field.
Right.
I'd rather be. I paid for that suite, and I'm not getting my value
for
it.
But so everybody, it's just interesting because everybody else is getting. Most guys are putting on the good face. Richard Hightower, the great H-Mac special teams coach. Like, this is just amazing. The NFL has set us up. It's so cool to be here. I've never been overseas. All these things, and then Jaylon, would you rather be here or at Soldier Field? He's like, Soldier Field. What are you nuts? He's like, I'm like, so this is messing with the season and the routine. Yeah, that's not a surprise. Yes, it absolutely is. So, these are human beings who have been asked to play the most physical contact sport going. Every week is insane. And hey, by the way, go get on a plane and fly to London and get yourself acclimated and work with the time change and go out there and practice and talk to the media and then go play the game. It's a lot on these guys right now. Well, and not that they can't handle it, but it is a lot.
Well, and can I just say, and we don't need to go into an extended rant about this or argument, but I feel jet lag is total bullshit. I'm sorry. Everybody's always like, oh, I'm jet lagged. It's called you're tired. You didn't get sleep. Sometimes you don't get rest at night. That's how it goes. Stop calling it jet lag. Just get your rest, catch up with your sleep, or don't sleep. But at the end of the day, you'll figure it out by the end of the week. Jet lag
for you to say when you went to bed at 3 a.m.
I don't get sleep any night. It doesn't matter if I'm at home or here. I don't sleep. Sleep is for the weak. At the end of the day, jet lag is garbage. Quit referencing it.
So that's amazing that the concept that has been talked about for a century, Grex is debunking it right now.
It's total crap.
Also,
excuse.
You would think because his favorite football team came out here late last time, looked incredibly jet jet lag from start to finish in that awful football game against the Raiders, but you still don't believe in it.
Maybe the team just sucked.
Well,
Did you
maybe
ever think of that?
Bragg's logic could be the best logic. There is no logic like Bragg's logic.
It was definitely an underachieving team. There's no question about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, the last time the Bears played in London, you had down 20-0. You come back, and you take a lead, then you lose. Kyle Long got cut on the plane ride home.
Yep.
Akeem Hicks broke his arm.
Oh, that was so nasty. His arm was.
Remember that?
Even people in the stands could see what happened there. That was really bad.
So when you talk about it, that was kind of the beginning of the end of the Mitch era, and so that this is just a totally different moment that the Bears are in.
Well,
coming
Chase
to London.
Daniels started that.
Exactly.
Game.
Mitch
Picked
was
up
out
all of his hot takes out here in London and brought him back to the U.S.
Oh my goodness. We'll leave it at that.
So just wrapping up, Hoge, because you were asking about practice today. You had Jaylon talking, you had Montez Sweat, who
today was defensive day. I get it.
Yes.
Yesterday was offensive day.
And I talked to Kerry Joseph, who it's interesting, like
Bears quarterbacks coach.
Right. Bears quarterbacks coach and the receivers coach, Chris
Byard.
No.
No, not Byard.
Beatty.
Kevin Byard. I was thinking because you talked to Kevin Byard earlier.
Well, I talked to Chris Beatty too.
That was the jet lag.
And it was just interesting because, for me, it's how does Caleb keep everybody happy, right? You've got all these guys want the football. They all want to score touchdowns. They all want to put up numbers. But and yesterday we had the conversation with Keenan Allen about just winning. That's all that matters. And you hear that, and I kind of looked a little sideways. I'm like, really? I know you guys all want to touch the football. This is you're human beings who are playing highly competitive ball your whole life. You want to show what you can do every time you're on the field. But so he's trying to put out a good face. And then the other side of it was like, yeah, this is, Chris Beatty's like, yeah, it's a thing for Caleb. But the bottom line is that right now he's just got to make the right play, period. He can't, they're not at a point yet where he can start thinking about, I got to get that guy involved. I got to get that guy involved. He doesn't want them thinking that way at all. Just do the right play.
Did either of you happen to check the 9-minute and 38 or 39-second video of Caleb mic'd up on Sunday?
It's very good.
I thought it was super interesting to watch.
It's coming into his own, right?
There was a lot of here we goes and let's goes. But between all of that stuff, there were some genuine moments where you got to see him interact with his teammates. That seemed pretty cool. I mean, I like the part with Braxton Jones where he's legitimately trying to give the offensive line props and Braxton Jones props. And he's like, no, you're having a good game. I don't think those were the exact.
Yeah.
I don't remember those exact words, but it was basically no. You're killing it. Right now.
That's what Braxton gave back to him?
Yes. Back to Caleb.
Okay.
So, and talking to DJ Moore, where everybody's, got their eyes focused on Caleb and DJ's relationship and chemistry. And he's like, I want to throw deep, man. Yeah. And then they hit the deep ball, So you're seeing that and comparing that to what they talked about in the presser yesterday, you're seeing that relationship and chemistry grow.
And right before they hit assuming they edited it in the chronological order, which sometimes you have to be careful with, but the way they presented it, right before they hit the long screen to DeAndre Swift, Waldron asked Caleb, do you want to do this here? Do you want to do this here? And
that's interesting.
And so that's the type of communication you definitely need that, because if the play caller doesn't trust the quarterback on what he's seeing out on the field, you do not have a good thing going. I can tell you that at any level. The most ideal situation is you have a good play caller first and foremost, but you have a relationship with the quarterback because you're the play caller. You're not on the field. It doesn't matter if you're upstairs or on the sideline. You're not on the field.
Yep.
He's on the field. He's seeing things in real time.
Yep.
And you need to trust the quarterback when he's like, this play is going to work right now. And the best relationships you can have from that standpoint are those. And so just to see that little interaction, hey, you want to do this one now? And he's like, yeah. And then they hit it. And then it was funny because he actually was mad at DeAndre Swift for not getting in the end zone. He's like, you didn't even try.
Yeah.
But then they ended up handing him off the ball and he got it.
It's interesting just to put that all together with what happened today with Shane Waldron, because I asked him, what has been your biggest challenge in this spot? And his answer was making everybody happy, because he's thinking about how can I draw up a play for Keenan? How can I drop a play for DJ? How can I get the ball to Rome? How can I get the ball to Cole? How do I get Gerald Everett involved? What do I do with DeAndre Swift? How am I going to get Roshan in there? Okay, well, this is not going to work out well for Khalil right now. Like, he's holding that, like keeping everybody pleased so they look at him in a positive way, right? Because he's the OC. He's the one that's putting in this offense. I thought that was a fairly interesting answer from him. That's on his mind, how to keep everyone happy, basically.
All right, we got to hit our first break here. We do have some sound from Kevin Byard coming up on the Jaquan Brisker concussion situation.
Great interview. Really well done by whoever did it.
Calm down.
Thank you.
He's plugging a concussion discussion.
Well, that was the courage that I had to go there, Gregory.
It was a good question. I'll hand it.
Thank you.
I'll hand
Pulitzer
it.
Prize.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pulitzer Prize material.
I will hand it to Patrick Finley. I thought he did a great job. Oh, no, it was you. It was you.
Thank you.
Hey, first of all, let's tell you about our fine sponsors helping us get out here to London. That includes Empire. And with Empire today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they have copycats, but Empire can't be beaten on quality, service, speed. So competitors, they're going to advertise low-quality products that Empire simply will not carry. Empire's not going to promise you the lowest prices because anybody who's doing that is putting flooring in your house that they wouldn't put in their own. So you don't want to get caught up in all that. Empire's giving you the best flooring. That's the most important thing. They're also going to make it super easy for you because they have a virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. I've been through this before. You're trying to get the right color, the right lighting, and all that. Just use the virtual floor designer. It's easy. You just snap a picture, instantly see how new floors will look in your room. Shopping for floors at a big box store can be very frustrating. You don't want to do that. Go to Empire today. They service their own warranties. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code, you know what it is, CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
And we were sponsored today by the Chicago Sports Network, the new home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. Chicago-based, Chicago-built, Chicago to the core. They're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our 77 neighborhoods and beyond. At CHSN, Chicago comes first. Visit CHSN.com for more info on how to watch the Bulls, Hawks, and Sox games all season long.
Let's give it up for this crowd one more time out
People
here
are awesome.
at Passyunk.
All right.
The Bears fans starting to roll into London. By the weekend, they will have taken over the entire town, and it's going to be great. But here today at Passyunk in Waterloo, great venue to have this show today. Yes, Greg?
No, nothing. It is great. I have a good story, but I'll save it for the end of the show.
Big
Oh!
Dave. Bulls.
Did you know Big Dave was coming?
I did.
I did not know that.
Well, it's a
I
secret.
did.
We don't tell you the
You guys
secrets.
kept this secret. This is the best secret.
Big Dave in the
God,
house.
my God.
Big Dave in the house.
Big Dave does our Bulls show.
That's
with
amazing.
Pack, with Goat,
Love
and
Big Dave.
and Big Dave's the greatest, and he joined us here.
What an amazing surprise. I like him way more than you guys.
No, I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
We all love Big Dave.
You
more
feel the
than
same
anyone.
way?
Yeah,
about,
exactly.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, he's a better
Greatest
person.
human being I've ever met.
He really is.
Better person than me, more likable than me, smarter than me. I'm a better athlete. But
Well,
that's about all I got.
Oh, also in that Caleb Williams video, by the way, he got asked right at the end of the game. They're like, Derek Rose wants to meet you. Do you want to meet Derek?
Wait, what?
you didn't hear this?
No.
Yeah, so right at the end of the mic'd up thing with Caleb,
Yeah.
he gets asked on the sideline, hey, Derek Rose up in his suite. He wants to come down and meet you. Do you want to meet him?
And what he said?
He was like, no. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, he was like, I love Derek Rose. Like, he was like,
That's
yeah, he's like
amazing.
he was like the guy when I was a child. So yeah, he got to meet. I mean, they didn't show the part where he got to meet Derek.
We didn't.
I don't know if that was out somewhere else. I didn't see that.
I didn't see it. I did see Derek out on the field after the game
Yeah,
with his
so-
son. Angel Reese was there as well.
We didn't talk
So-
about that a ton, but just shout out to Bears fans. An MVP chant for Derek at
Well,
Soldier
shout out
Field.
to the
Feels
Bears.
good.
They did a video
that's
montage
cool.
of Derek,
Sure,
while he was
absolutely.
there. So that was just a really nice touch.
That was.
Celebrate the kid from Chicago.
I love Derrick Rose.
I love Derrick Rose. I want him to play one more game in a Bulls uniform, but we'll take it. Ceremony coming up against the Knicks this year. We'll be there.
All right, we have some sound from George McCaskey coming up in a little bit, but first, we are going to bring you this conversation with Mark Carman talking to Kevin Byard about this is super interesting because we've been having this discussion about what happened to Jaquan Brisker in the game on Sunday. Anybody watching on TV can understand that he was not 100% right. I have some reactions to this video and what Kevin Byard had to say, but before we get there, I want you to hear it. So here's Carm doing a great job talking to Kevin Byard, the safety that plays with Jaquan, who was on the field when this collision happened on Sunday. Here it is.
Hey Kevin, the play with Brisker, did you think that something was off there when the way he hit the ground afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's seen, if you play football, you've seen enough football to know when somebody got their bell rung. And just as he was kind of laying there, that's why I didn't when I ran up to him, I ran him really fast. But once I kind of seen that, he needs a second to gather himself, and I got him off the ground. I kind of knew he was shaking up a little bit, but once he got to the sideline, he was fine. Obviously the trainers came over there and checked him out, asked him if he was good. He kept saying he was good. So, but obviously when it happened directly, on the field, he was a little shaken up.
So what's that like for you as a team that you might not be thinking about his concussion history in the moment, but also you want to win the game, but you want to protect your dude, and he's trying to play. It's an awkward spot for you too. Yeah,
I mean, just one of those dudes you kind of leave it up to the doctors and the trainers and things like that. Because like I said, I was concerned about him when I see him get up off the ground, and I mean, if you even watch the replay, he wasn't celebrating. You know what I mean? It took him a little stuff to gather himself. I've been in that situation before too. So once we got to the sideline, we was talking. He was good. The trainers came over there and checked him out and everything. And he said he was good. I know he kind of did the little protocol deal, whatever, and jumped back in the game. It's one of those. It's just I would say, just a sensitive situation where, you want to look out for your teammate and your brother and things like that, but it's really just out of your control.
Yeah. What missing him? What will be the biggest challenge for the defense?
I mean, obviously he's been in his defense for a while, and like I said, we play well off each other. His intensity, his energy that he brings to our defense is definitely is something that we value for sure. But I think Hicks has been in his defense just as long, and I think he'll play well.
Thanks.
So super interesting. Since you were the one doing the interview, what was your reaction first?
Well, first of all, I just appreciate Kevin Byard because it is a very sensitive thing, and they don't want to put I'm putting him in a slightly awkward position, asking him to talk about a teammate who now can't play but was allowed to play on Sunday. And yeah, anybody who's played football can tell when a guy had his bell rung. So he was aware, but it was interesting to hear him just, hey, he was getting checked out on the sidelines, and he just kept on saying he's okay, he's okay, he's okay. So the player wants to play, and that's the way it went. But I just appreciated his honesty, and Kevin he's first class. We're not going to play it, but I was talking to Jaylon about it as well, and his reaction was that, as far as the amount of concussions that Brisker has had and the scariness of playing football, and I'm trying to get down the road. Do you think about that and how short your careers are? He's like, I don't think about it. It's just something that I think you almost have to, as a strategy, put that out of your mind because you love playing the game so much and you work so hard to get there that you can't think about that stuff because it's a harsh reality, but it's not something that's at least in a lot of levels in your control.
Well, and that's the question that I have with, when you see what happened with Tua, Here you
go, Hoge. Have a wave.
As
we have a serious conversation, I have some beers coming in.
Classic. Okay.
Yeah. So
please pour that in the Miller Lite cup.
Yes. So
we had that discussion.
We did have that discussion.
It's all Miller Lite. Everything's Miller Lite.
Everything's Miller Lite. We
love
appreciate
you,
Miller Lite. And but yeah, getting back to the conversation. So to me, when you look at what's going on with Tua down in Miami and the decisions they have to make and trying to figure out when's the appropriate time to bring him back, and then you put that against with what's happening now with Jaquan Brisker, it's not ideal. And I continue to have this question, with both situations and looking at the NFL overall, at what point does the NFL figure out a line to draw? Because the players are always going to want to play. They work their whole lives for this moment. But at what point do they have to try to take that decision away from them. You know, and
But here, I'm sorry to interrupt you. They do that already. I know people want to blame somebody in this whole thing. The reality is, that was our confirmation, by the way. The first time we've had somebody go on record and say that he was evaluated on the sideline. They said they followed. Ryan posted yesterday all the concussion protocol was
because it must have
followed.
happened fast, though,
But,
right?
But he basically said, to recap what Byard just said, I could tell right away that he had his bell rung. He didn't celebrate right away, which we pointed out, because this is a guy who celebrates literally every incompletion, every big play that happens on the field.
Even when he's on the other side of the field.
Yeah, and he didn't celebrate, so that was a red flag right away. And so he was looking out for him, helping him up, getting him to the sideline. He was evaluated. And so one of two things happened. Either he was evaluated wrong and poorly, or he wasn't showing symptoms. Sometimes that happens. I can tell you from doing sidelines at Northwestern. You are down there sometimes and you are convinced guys are concussed and you watch them do the protocols. You can pass all the protocols, all the tests they give you, and still show up the next day with concussion symptoms. It does happen. And everybody wants to blame people for some of that. So what you guys, I think, are asking is that you go above and beyond what the protocols actually say and just be like, nah, I don't like how this all feels. No. You don't get to play football the rest of the game.
Okay,
that's not going to happen. Not at this level. It ain't happening.
Well, two things. One, I'm not saying that he didn't go. Clearly, he went through the protocols and was able to get through them. I don't doubt that any of that happened. Right. Or were the protocols strict enough? Probably not, but that's I'm not saying that I
disagree with you on that, because it is now an independent doctor. It's not the Bears.
Okay, but
it is an independent doctor with an independent
spotter. Exactly.
Well,
and by the way, we see watching Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football all the time when we're sitting at home on our couches. That guy's concussed, and he doesn't get pulled out of the game.
And
that's the spotter up
there. And it has to be an independent spotter, because...
Or the officials can do that too, by the way. They can pull somebody out.
So hold on. Let's rewind. First of all, I don't think that, in general, I don't think fans are wanting guys to get pulled out of the game. I don't think that people want football to be made, quote unquote, safer. I think people still love to see big hits. I think people love seeing Jaquan Brisker come. I just saw it in the comment 5 minutes ago. He cracked. It was a huge hit. It was incredibly.
They used to do a segment on ESPN called "You Got Jacked Up," and it was a great segment.
I mean, I love watching old NFL films of, if you want to go all the way back to the '60s and Butkus, or just fly to the '85 Bears, and I love all that stuff.
Didn't the NFL tweet out the play right after it happened? By the way,
they did.
Yeah,
right, and that is football, and that's part of the reason why guys love the game. Now, eventually they realize, like, hey, we've got better keep our quarterbacks healthy, because people love the passing game, and that's one of the biggest reasons maybe that people tune in. So I don't think there's this whole thing like we must get these guys evaluated properly on the sidelines. So the point that I'm making is that you are, if you're going to do this right and really take care of the player, you're going to have to use common sense. I don't care that you passed the concussion protocols. I just saw you fall asleep on the field after you made a hit. You're not right. I don't care what you're showing over here. But the fact of the matter is that guys.
Who are you asking to do that, though? I'm being serious. Who are you asking to do that?
I'm asking if it's me.
Are you asking Flus?
Yes.
You're underestimating, dude. It doesn't matter if it's an ankle, it's a head, or anything. The head coach is way too busy.
No, I'm not.
That is on the training staff to come to the head coach and say, this guy's out.
Okay, let me rephrase.
You cannot expect the head coach to make that decision.
Let me rephrase. I'm asking the training staff. But I'm also in my mind, if I'm George McCaskey or Kevin,
you're asking them to make a diagnosis that they're not seeing.
I'm asking them if I see a common sense injury where the dude is knocked out on the field, that I don't want my players going back out there, because I want them healthy long term, and I am going to think about them and their days after the football field, and not be completely selfish for just go win this game for me right now, which I think is also a win-win for the Bears. You want Jaquan Brisker on the field as long as possible, and if you put him in harm's way and don't protect him, then the chances are he's going to play less football.
So real quick, to me, when you ask, like, I'm not really looking to assign blame, but when I make the point about Tua and Jaquan Brisker, I think the question at some point has to be asked with players that have more than just multiple concussion injuries. How many times is too many times for the NFL to then allow them to come back. Because once you get to 6, 7, 8, like where will there ever come a point where the NFL draws a line and says, if you hit this number,
You're out.
we cannot allow you back? Because
like play
I know.
ever.
Well, I
They
know
got
that
they got a contract.
I'm not saying
Listen.
that that's what will happen. I'm asking the
Yeah.
question if that is something, because when you see what's happening with Tua, like to me, it's like at what point he's going to keep coming back, whether he has 20 or not. And
I'll go the other way on it.
Break.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a break, and you got.
I want to make one more point about this when we come
we
back
can come
here.
back and talk.
And
About
shout out to our friends at Circus Sportsbook, whether it's pro or college. The app to bet football on is Circus Sports Illinois. I love our friends at Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports has high betting limits, low holds, exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, future, in-game. Circus Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. You got to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And somebody's up next.
I'm up next, but I need you to stall for 10 seconds while I
it scared me.
pull it up.
I thought it was him because I saw him fiddling over there, but
He's just fiddling.
Yeah,
He's
just
a
fiddling.
fiddler.
Maybe
You-
just sharing the
yeah.
show.
Well, I'm
Let's
fiddling with my new.
share the show earlier.
I'm fiddling with my new golf clubs from PXG. Is
Oh,
what I'm
so
doing.
good.
Yeah. Like Greg,
Yep.
What did I
don't
do?
spill that everywhere.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
I'm always looking to improve my golf game. I want to hit the ball straighter. I want to hit it farther. And I don't have to worry about trying to hit everything perfect to make a good shot. Of course, all of it. So that's why I went over to my closest PXG location in Northbrook and upgraded the clubs in my bag. 10 years in the making, new PXG Gen 7 irons are the greatest leap forward in technology and performance in PXG history. PXG delivers a breakthrough in game improvement with the new PXG Black Ops irons. That's what I got. The Black Ops Irons Challenge has over 1,200 entrants so far, one of those people being myself, beating the competition in distance or dispersion with a current win rate of 100%.
Way to go, Hoge.
The same
Way to go, PXG.
It's the same win rate as the Minnesota Vikings. A complete and total victory in engineering, PX Black Ops Woods feature breakthrough technologies that deliver unreal forgiveness and massive distance gains, even on mishits. Upgrade your bag with PXG clubs. Take your game to a whole new level for a limited time. You can save $10 per club. Head over to pxg.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO. That's pxg.com/CHGO. Code CHGO to save $10 off per club on your order. pxg.com/CHGO. The code is CHGO. I want you to finish your point on this. My last point on this, though, is this play happened in the first half. All right?
14-7 game.
He passed the concussion protocol. He went through halftime. He played in the second half. If at any point anyone saw anything wrong, they would have pulled him from the game.
But we saw something wrong.
All right, this is just going to be one of those things I can't explain to you.
I got
You can suffer a concussion and not have symptoms show up right away.
I understand.
That's what happened. Why are you not accepting it?
Because we saw the symptom. He fell asleep. That's a symptom. It just went away for a minute. Right?
But that's not how the protocol works.
I understand. And let me just make this last point. I think you'll agree with me here. Maybe.
I think when you say he went to sleep, I think that's a little strong.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the
I
other guy
saw him
got
get up
knocked
slowly.
out.
I saw him get up slowly.
His
The other
head-
guy was out cold.
His
No,
head went
yeah.
to the ground. Well, that's why I'm
The players,
however
his
you wanna-
teammates
how-
immediately pulled him up, so it was hard to look.
However you want to define that. Look, and we can move on from this. But when the player safety issue became a thing, I said, look, when my father, Papa Fred Carman, in the 1940s was playing football for Marshall High School in Western Illinois, his parents didn't want him to play because the game was dangerous. And that's when they were wearing leather helmets, and it wasn't a tenth as dangerous as it is now, or as it was, say, in the 80s and 90s, all right? They knew it was dangerous. The players know that they're signing up to play a really dangerous game. People have the right to do with their lives what they want to do with them. These guys want to play football. They love it. So I said at the time, sign a waiver. I know football's dangerous. I know I might not be able to walk. I know I might not be able to think, but this is what I want to do with my life because this is what I'm passionate about. And if I don't get to live to 98 years old and I only live to 60 or whatever it is, I'm down for it. Okay. I don't think Walter Payton regrets his life in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure he would have loved to live a longer time, but he goes down as the GOAT at running back, and he played the game as hard as you could possibly play it, and he loved it. So these guys know that they're signing up for this. So my point is,
so he wants to stay in the game after he gets up.
They always do.
So what's the problem here?
The problem, right? So don't act like we're trying to protect him. Like just get rid of it and let him. Yeah,
Your conclusion of this whole thing is to get rid of concussion protocol?
You understand my point?
Not really.
You're not going to make this game safe. Quit trying to make it safe. Let them
go.
go.
No. Time out. They have to put those protocols in place.
Why?
Because the players are consistently going to try to hide their injuries so they can stay on the field and make their money.
So
that's no different.
It's possible to die on the field.
That's no different than construction
and
workers. Let me explain.
They want to do it.
At the end of the day, though, you have to protect them from themselves. Let me compare it to you. I was an iron worker for 2 years, and one of the things that I was in charge of as a greenie was to watch for the foreman that was coming around and the safety guy, because none of them ever wanted to be tied off as they were bolting up the iron. And that's because they could get their work done faster. But at the end of the day, it's the safety guy's job to make sure they are tied off, because they have to protect the meatheads from themselves, because if they don't tie off, they could fall off. And then there's, liability and culpability. So you have to have protocols in place, or else now the team is liable for letting the players, make their own decisions for themselves.
Which is why, as far as the NFL is concerned, I'm not as up to speed on the greenie portion and everything you just dial up. I think it's a great point.
You're also they have families. You got to protect them for their families too. They can't just be like, I'm going to go into this. Their dads, their husbands. They can have the decision that I'm going to go risk my life every time I go to work. A lot of people do that in other professions too, and there's protocols in place to make sure that no matter how much they're willing to risk themselves, they get home to their families.
I understand. There's no easy solution here, but at the end of the day, when you're signing up to be an NFL football player, in general, I would allow them to be NFL football players. And if Jaquan Brisker, ultimately, if he gets dinged like that and he's saying that he wants to go back out there, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think it's on. Sure, the Bears could protect the player for himself. I thought it was obvious that they should have. But ultimately, it's his decision, and he's living his life.
All right, we got to get to new injury information on other players, because the injury report from practice today outside of London is in, and there is some significant updates. One is, yesterday they did not actually have a normal Wednesday practice. They had a walkthrough, which led to estimations on the injury report, like you see when you're playing a Thursday game and you don't really have a full practice. So Tevin Jenkins was estimated as limited in practice yesterday. Today they actually practiced, and he did not practice.
Wrong estimation.
Well, wrong estimation or a setback.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
possible.
The Tevin Jenkins ankle DNP, that makes you wonder about Sunday a little bit. Mercedes Lewis got his normal rest day. No big deal there. We know Pickens, Terrell Smith.
With Mercedes Lewis, they just put old. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. The other significant one is Tyreek Stevenson, who was not on the injury report at all yesterday. Limited in practice with a calf. I do not know this for sure, but a lot of times when that happens, that means it was suffered in practice today. So, Brisker out. Tyreek Stevenson dealing with a calf now.
That's not great. That is not great.
Was there any discussion or thought process with you guys with the decision between Elijah Hicks or Jonathan Owens to be the safety in place of Brisker?
It's Elijah Hicks. What?
I know it's Elijah. No, I'm not asking why.
They back up different positions. There's two safety positions.
Right. Yeah. So no, but I'm saying so. Right. So you don't think that
Elijah Hicks is more of the box safety.
Okay.
You
don't think Jonathan Owens can play that position though too?
I think he can. I think Elijah Hicks was drafted by the Bears, has been in this defense.
He's been great the last few years,
and is the more suitable backup to back up Jaquan Brisker. It might be different if Byard was out.
Okay.
They seem to be pretty comfortable with Elijah Hicks listening to the guys talk about him. Now you're not going to hear a guy say that guy sucks, but
he made a ton of plays at camp.
But it the way they talk about him, it seems genuine to me that they think that not that they think he's Jaquan Brisker, by the way, but they think that he can step in and do fine.
100%. All right, we got some George McCaskey audio, and
all right. I haven't heard it.
It's pretty interesting, to be honest with you. We got some stadium talk, and we got some Tom Brady talk. Yeah. How about
Why
that?
was he asked about Tom Brady? I'm confused.
Because he wants to sign with the Bears again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trade Caleb and sign Tom Brady.
Great idea. That'd be
Tom would probably win a Super Bowl still, even in that ridiculous scenario. All right, let's start with the stadium stuff. Off the heels of what Kevin Warren said yesterday. I know Greg cannot wait to hear this. George McCaskey in London today.
George, Ted had a vision for a stadium in Arlington Heights. Kevin has one in Chicago. George, Ted had a vision for a stadium in Arlington Heights.
All right,
Kevin
never mind.
has one in Chicago. For you personally, especially having known Ted for so long, is that conflicting at all for you?
Not at all. We want to go where the best deal is possible, where it's most feasible, financially, politically, geographically, and the lakefront is an excellent site, and we think that a roofed stadium just south of Soldier Field can be great for Chicago, for the region, and for the great state of Illinois.
Kevin said that the goal's still breaking ground in 2025. That's 2 months away. How do you get there? If that's
14 months away.
I can't do the math on that.
That's why too much.
Yeah, way too much math.
Yeah, sometime in 2020.
So what's the next step in terms of, sounds like securing public funding is still that next step. Where do you think things are in that realm?
Yeah, so there's a veto session in November, there's a lame duck session in January, and then the spring session right after that. So sometime in one of those sessions, we're going to have some sort of enabling legislation to allow the project to move forward.
Do you share his confidence level that you'll get a shovel in the ground next year?
Yes, we're confident in Kevin.
You at one point were happy with the idea of Arlington Heights, and even leaving Chicago, you said change isn't always a bad thing. Do you still feel that way? If that becomes the option, you guys own the property out there, will you be happy still if the stadium ends up being in Arlington Heights?
Well, right now our focus is on the lakeshore, and we'll be happy if the stadium is built just south of Soldier Field.
So
that was interesting.
I hear George talks about things differently than Kevin does.
He put a real timeline on it right there.
Well, props to a combination of Courtney Cronin and Pat Finley who narrowed that down. I mean, it is true to say that 2025 is 2.5 months away, but the end of 2025 is 14.5 months away.
Yeah,
so
I had the exact thought that George had there. It's 14 months away.
It is. But he specifically mentioned there are now 3 sessions. You got November, January, and the spring.
Yep.
And
it's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
Yeah.
And so something drastically needs to change, I think, by the end of May, right, is when that spring session ends, basically. And then at the first answer he gave, which is what I've been trying to tell you all along, the best deal. He said that. He was on record right there saying, just got to get the best deal. And so if at the end of May, they don't have the support from Springfield and the best deal is Arlington Heights, this thing will swing back that way.
So, I keep talking to multiple sources around Arlington Heights about this. And my understanding, and again, I'm not reporting this. This is just what I
sounds like you're reporting.
Well,
you're literally
I'm reporting this, but don't hold me accountable for what I'm about to say next.
That one. I'm not that one. This is a podcast. I'm not a journalist.
Oh man.
But what my understanding is that whatever the Bears have wanted in Arlington Heights, for the most part, they're gonna get. That's what's that's there for them. But even with that,
Kevin wants the lakefront.
Even with that,
yeah.
he wants the lakefront. It's there.
So in other words, what you're saying is that there's been some resolution to the tax situation.
Yes.
Which is okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that big of a deal.
No, I'm not right. It's not a huge thing that I just dropped. But my point is that they have what they wanted in Arlington Heights, and they're still.
But they literally have the land. I mean,
right. But they were negotiating taxes and whatnot. Apparently, they're going to get what they wanted, but they want to be in Chicago. But that was interesting. Here's the timeline.
Well, Kevin wants to be in Chicago.
My thing that
Fair.
Whatever. And whenever it gets figured out, wake me up when it does. I've been on the record about my frustrations about this conversation being ongoing.
Well, and you know what?
It's just annoying.
I gotta say, I
it.
did not see this until I think either this morning or last night when I went to bed. But you had a very good tweet on this yesterday that I admittedly did not think about.
I did it.
Because
one of my 1,000 tweets. I hit one.
You said this around the draft when they had that press conference.
Same thing.
And then here they are in London, and they're trying to make it about the stadium. And you're like, and it is an interesting PR move because it's like, all right, let's just have a little tiny update, and then tomorrow everyone will think about the game in London.
Well, that's my thing, and that's my frustration of it all. Like, I feel like this organization has started to become more transparent. You know, in-house, president, GM, head coach, team. There's been a more openness in the last couple of years, but with this whole stadium thing, they're playing the PR move of bringing the news out the day before the draft, bringing the news out the week of the London trip. And as a Bears fan who just wants to enjoy the step-for-step stuff that's in the moment, I just want to enjoy the draft the night Caleb Williams is getting drafted. I just want to enjoy our week in London and not talk about a stadium that's years away. And I just feel like they're trying way too hard to change slip this in the news cycle, almost like politics does on a Friday night news dump. Yeah. And I just don't think it's necessary. We understand the red tape that is Chicago and Illinois politics. Just be transparent about the process. We all enjoy Soldier Field for what it is. And whenever you get the stadium built, if it's in 5 years or 10 years, we'll be there when you build it, wherever you build it. But stop messing with me and trying to play this political maneuvering through the media.
It's on you.
Insulting to me.
That's on you.
Well, I don't
have to be quote unquote messed with. By the way, like Kevin talking yesterday, it wasn't like he announced, I have a stadium update. We were just asked about it.
Well, but he understands that when he speaks to the media for the first time.
So he shouldn't speak until it's over?
Yeah, but see, that's why I disagree with you. I understand where you're coming from. Trust me, I do. And it's a good point. But I would still rather have the vice president of the team, or I'm sorry, the president and CEO of the team talk periodically, even if he doesn't have updates to give. And this seemed like, and I appreciate that the Bears made Kevin Warren and George McCaskey available here because typically we only hear from George at the owners' meetings every year.
But that's my point. Yeah. They know putting Kevin Warren to speak. The one before the draft was different because they were doing a presentation. But
that was definitely different. That was a scheduled thing to announce something that wasn't really ready to be announced.
That was a real political maneuver.
Yeah. That was bizarre.
To pressure Arlington.
To me, this was normal availability and a big event for the team and the organization. But make
them available 2 weeks ago and get the stadium talk out of the way. Where this week,
that's where I disagree with you. This is London. This is an international thing that the organization cares about. They're speaking to their UK fans here, not just people.
I understand that. So that's what I'm saying. Have him speak 2 weeks ago, get the stadium talk out of the way, and then this week, if you have him speak again, then those questions have been answered.
They're still going to get asked about. It's still going to come up. It's still going to come up. All right, we got more from George. This was a curveball. I don't know what I would have thought to ask him about this, but Courtney Cronin, shout out to her. We heard what Tom Brady had to say on a broadcast a couple weeks ago about the Bears going in on him and trying to sign him back in 2020. And George was asked about that today.
George, Tom Brady mentioned on the broadcast, I guess it was the Bucs game that he was doing a couple weeks ago, the Bears were quietly one of the more aggressive teams in pursuing him during his free agency in 2020. That's the first time we had ever heard of that. Can you take us through kind of what those conversations were like and trying to get Tom Brady to come to Chicago before he ultimately went to Tampa?
Well, that seems like ancient history at this point, but I do remember we were interested in pursuing him, and didn't work out for us. Worked out great for him. Yeah.
Were you part of any pitch at the boat with him?
Not directly. No.
When it was going on, Mr. Guy obviously was a living legend even then. Was there an excitement level? What was the energy level surrounding that?
Well, anytime you're in a situation like that, you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. So you're looking at alternatives. It's the same in free agency. It's the same in the draft. If the person you're targeting isn't available, you want to make sure that you've done your due diligence on all other options. So That was one option.
Did he ever visit?
Not that I know.
Your stance on Hard Knocks for years. How did you feel like it turned out?
The Hard Knocks crew was fantastic. Shannon Furman and her people were professional. They were flexible. They were cooperative. They understood. And in the end, I thought they put together a great series. I didn't know that things like pet ferrets would capture the nation's attention, but I thought they did a great job telling human stories. I thought they also humanized Ryan and Nick. You could see how much they care about them.
I almost forgot they were on Hard Knocks. That seems like it was 3 years ago.
It's been a long year.
So he confirmed that they went after Brady. He didn't.
We knew that already.
Dan Patrick reported it in the moment.
I wrote a story about it.
Hoge wrote a story.
Still on NBC.
I reported on it on Brags in the Stands. My mom and Chubbs were watching.
Okay, I don't know how I
Good
missed.
point. Why were you not watching?
I have no
Why
idea.
weren't you watching Brags in the
I
Stands?
have no idea how I missed that.
I reported on it.
And I'm sure that
Like
Hoge.
Carm just reported on the stadium.
I'm sure Hoge wrote it up, and Fishbane
Hedge
did,
alert.
and so did
Hedge
Biggs.
reporting.
Yeah, Fishbane, Biggs, Potsy, whatever.
No,
I
Hoge.
don't. Whatever. I don't care. He just said it today again. It feels fresh. They had the thought process that they were going to go get Tom Brady, and who did they end up with? Was that Andy Dalton or Mike
Nick
Glennon
Foles.
or Nick Foles? Whoever the hell it was, it's annoying to me today.
He's right up there.
Yeah, it's-
winning a Super Bowl for a different team.
I find that
Show
irritating.
some respect.
You're telling me that the goat was like there was a chance that he could have been a bear. That's kind of that.
I still think it's.
I'm sure it wasn't that close, but if they had the thought, they pursued it, and then we ended up.
Doesn't it make you happy that they had the thought? We should.
No.
We should. You would rather them not want to sign the greatest quarterback of all time?
I would rather them I'd rather them sign the greatest
well,
quarterback of all
that's
time.
fine, but you're like.
I'm not. I guess I give them some.
It makes me feel better that they tried.
I'll give them a drop of credit, but
Yeah.
but the reporting was that they offered like way less than Tampa.
And this is the Sox fan coming out in him. You know, we tried to get Manny
Yes,
Machado.
exactly.
We tried to
He's
get Bryce
Reinsdorf.
Harper. Does that make you feel better, buddy?
He's right.
They
No,
tried.
you're
No, it's
Reinsdorf.
not good enough. You know, and I don't want to hear about it if you
Yeah,
didn't.
but my
don't tell me
understanding.
you
No,
tried.
no. I'm not.
Tell me you did it, or if you didn't, then shut up.
My understanding, though, and this is where I'm borderline calling Tom Brady a liar. I don't think he was that interested.
I agree.
I think he wanted to go to Florida.
Then why did he why did he bring it up?
I think he embellished that story. I said it 2 weeks ago when that came out, because based on what I had heard at the time, the Bears wanted him and he didn't really want them. Money be damned.
Well, then,
and this is the one guy who's got a track record of taking less money to stay in New England because he was deferring some money to help that team.
Chubbs is confirming that I broke the story first on Brags in the Stands.
That's big.
Nobody saw it though. It's like a tree falling in the forest.
That's not true. Chubbs saw it. Somebody saw it. Okay, I looked. That's fine. Whatever.
Do we want to hear from Pam?
I wish that George
Pam
was
in the stands?
I wish that George would have said we wanted him. We tried. He didn't want to play it for us.
It would have been cool. There's no doubt about it.
We can hear from Pam. Do
Well,
we have Pam?
So we got to set this up for anybody who missed the show yesterday.
So yeah, go ahead.
You know what, there's a train station in the town of where that we have now adopted as our second home here in London.
That's right.
Because it's way easier than taking the media shuttle.
Right.
So yesterday we were on our way back from where the Bears are practicing, and we stopped at this train station. There's this very nice woman named Pam.
This poor woman that now Carman's
Yeah.
harassing.
That thought Carm was from Germany.
She did.
Because he was trying to do his stupid British accent.
They're starting to build a little bit of a connection here. I feel it.
More than a little. We're very connected.
A smattering.
And
so Carm did that to her, and she thought he was from Germany, which was fantastic. But in reality, we ended up talking to her in our Chicago accents for a while, and she's a very nice lady. And now you were back there today, and you talked to her again.
The nicest lady of all time. We did like 6 videos, but so I picked this one for you because so
she's working for us now.
She is.
Okay.
I put her on the payroll, but I thought this
She's
one.
gonna have Carm shopping.
I thought this one was. I think this one
I
was.
like
This one was the most relevant to our day here. So why don't we let's my new best friend in London, Pam.
Well, hello, Pam. It's day 2.
Hello, Mark. It's nice to see you again.
It's great to see you again.
And
hey,
you.
Today we have after the train ride we're gonna be at a pub, but after that we're going on a cruise on the how do you say it? The River Thames.
On the River Thames.
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 River Thames.
The River Thames.
Yes.
That will be lovely. Perhaps we should have a cup of tea on the train on the way to the River Thames.
Yes, that sounds a great idea.
And maybe a sausage roll?
Would you like one now, or are you going to have one later?
I'm a trifle full, actually. Maybe. I think just the tea.
What, for now?
Yeah, for now.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
Say hi to all the Bears fans. Say hello, Bears fans.
Hello, Bears fans. Hello, Bears fans.
It's Pam at the Ware station?
Yes, I'm Pam from M's Coffee in Ware Station in Hertfordshire.
I heard there was a rumor that you have 14 grandkids. Is that correct?
It's 14 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren.
3 great-grandchildren? That's amazing. Yeah. There's more of you walking around in the world. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Okay, we go now. We're going to have some tea. See you later at the River Thames. River Thames.
At the River Thames.
You guys could not like that. That was, first of all, that's my new best friend. Second of all, she's lovely. Third of all, I thought my accent was excellent today, despite your reactions. And everybody else.
Thank God you actually bought something from her.
I tried to give her £10 for the $1.80 pound tea, and she wouldn't take it. She's just, no, you get your change, Mark.
Yeah, tipping's not really a thing here.
Thames.
Thames.
Officially.
Thames.
River
You actually got
Thames.
that right.
Now we know.
Is she coming? You said I'll see you later on the river.
I don't believe that.
You're bringing a date?
I believe M's Coffee.
You should have invited her.
I did invite her. But M's Coffee works a little bit late.
She was taking you seriously because nothing you were doing
Well,
was
because
serious.
there's no way that Pam actually believes that he's like a professional that's actually working.
Good point.
That he's just some.
Yeah.
It was funny
Random-
afterwards. She's like, "Are you a presenter?" Yes, Pam. That's
No.
I am.
14
He's an
grandchildren, though.
14. Yes, and 3 great-grandchildren.
It's a big family.
I love my interactions with Pam, and I'm going to practice tomorrow, Hoge, even though we was up just to see Pam on the way back. That's the only reason.
Well, while we're on the nonsense and silliness
no-
that is me and Carm. So I got to give a shout out to my guy Joseph. I got it. What?
Go ahead.
You're gonna love this.
Okay, good.
I promise. So the bus pulls up today. I got to give my guy Joseph a shout out. All these fans that are sitting here, here at Passyunk Avenue, they all showed up. Today's the start of our trip from True Fan Travel, right? And so as the bus pulled up from the airport, huge bus, right? Joseph is the last person to get off the bus. And shout out to Joseph. Do you remember yesterday when we had the super chat with the guy calling you out about your reporting and how you were tweeting and we were giving him crap and he had the James Earl Jones profile picture?
Yeah.
Do you remember what I said?
No.
I said, listen here, you blind idiot.
Yeah,
well,
that was
Joseph gets off the bus and Joseph is blind. And I love that me and Joseph had a big hug. We were laughing about it. He gets off the bus. He's like, I'm Joseph. I listen every day. I go, did you listen yesterday, Joseph? And he goes, I did. I go, you know what I'm going to say next? And he goes, I do. And I was like, Joseph, I love you. I'm so sorry. He's like, no, I totally get it. James Earl Jones. So it was a great moment to start the trip. Joseph, our guy. You're going to meet him here in a little bit.
That's horrible. Joseph, I love you. I'm so sorry.
And you know what he said? He's like, the Bears have been so bad my whole life that they made me go blind.
That's a great line. That's great.
Thank you for your support, Joseph. You're the man.
No, shout out to Joseph. He was a great sport about it. But I was taking a shot at Sandlot, James Earl Jones, not Joseph, to be clear.
Okay. All right. Well, we actually do need to go mingle with the people and hang out with those of them that are here and out here at Passyunk. Again, thank you to everybody for being here. This has been an awesome experience, and we're not done yet. We
got some super chats here.
We're hanging out here. Yeah, we got to get super chats. We're hanging out here, and then we are going to the River Thames for our first official True Fan Travel event.
We do have to lightning around these super chats because I know we got to wrap up the set and get to the River Thames. So, but we appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit that like button while you're hanging out. If you're watching us back home, we appreciate you guys. Garbage Man Steve. Do you remember Garbage Man Steve from the tailgate last week?
I love Garbage Man Steve.
Garbage Man Steve was at the tailgate last week with the Panthers win. Had a blast meeting you guys at the tailgate last week. Here's to another 30-point game for the Bears. FGB, which is,
we know what it means.
Yeah, we know what it means.
We love you, Garbage Man.
This is not lightning round.
Yeah, it's not
Steven, you want to do them?
Yeah, I got it. Jason McKenna, $5. I've always questioned why coaches think an injured player's output is better than the backup. To me, the math doesn't add up.
That's a good one from Jason. That's an excellent point. Would you
good
rather
point.
have a healthy Hicks or a banged-up Brisker? I like how you're thinking, Jason.
Brisker seemed fine the rest of the game to me.
Chubb's 82, $2. I confirm Braggs broke the story first. And
Thank
then
you.
He follows up with two more super chats. This one, another $2. She's definitely in your number category.
Chubbs.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Yeah.
And then
what's happening?
Another $2 for
trying to do
Chubbs.
super
Says
chats.
Grandpappy Carm.
Yeah.
Grandpappy Carm. All
That's
right.
all of them, Braggs.
That was all of them?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Hello, sir. How are you? Who are you? Do you know?
I do. Yeah. Hi, guys. Oh, thank you very much. And
stop touching our guests.
Okay. And
okay.
Daniel.
You should have done this.
Hello, Daniel.
And I brought.
What's your story before you brought anything? Who are you?
Where are you from? So I'm from Manchester.
Okay.
Okay.
And I've been a Bears fan since my dad watched the Bears in the Super Bowl. And ever since then, we have been Bears fans all the time. And I brought basically chocolates and crisps and sweets.
I was going to say, these are not chips, they're crisps.
Everything from
this is the most. This is very extensive.
Delights.
Chocolate
oranges. So, as an example, if we open up a chocolate orange,
yeah, this guy's literally. Greg is
you
biting.
go up like that. Let's just move your advertisement.
Move my Miller Lite. Yep. Okay.
And if you, where's the camera?
Oh boy!
That's
Pick your glass up.
Hey. And that's how it works.
Back home, we call that a carb. You just pulled a carb.
That is unfortunate, but we're going to survive.
Okay. It's okay. It's like only yours anyway, so that's fine.
No, okay.
All right. This is what happened when Brax goes rogue with no warning.
That's okay. Oh, now we got a chocolate orange.
Chocolate orange.
There it is. All right.
There you are, Carl.
Next time, throw that at Nick Fold, and it will do the same thing.
Delicious.
This looks amazing, though.
Try one of them. And I'll get out of the way now.
That was karma, by the way.
One of the great endings. That was.
Sorry for just wrecking the entire show, but that's fine.
No, you did a good job.
Awesome to see you.
That's why they make MacBooks,
The good news is this is phenomenal.
It is delicious.
It's like the best chocolate I've ever had.
All right, listen, that was awesome. Okay, let the record show what he just said there was awesome. That was crazy.
That was karma.
That's
That's
crazy.
only,
Get it? Karma?
Mm-hmm. No, it was crazy.
Karma for karma?
Yeah, no.
Love this guy's energy. Love this entire room's energy.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody coming out.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
We're
here.
going to have a fun week.
Yeah.
This is going to be an awesome week. James is in the house. Shout out to James. Excited for him to have some fun this week. Big Bears game coming up on Sunday. So much more content to go. We appreciate. Shout out to Rob. Let's give Rob a shout out from Passyunk Avenue one more time for taking care of all of us.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a lot of content. Make sure you follow us on CHGO Bears on Twitter. We're going to be sharing all the content we're doing on the River Thames.
Thames. You'll get it.
We'll get it eventually.
And for anybody watching our shows the rest of the week, you now know why there's a big beer stain on the tablecloth we'll be using.
Well, we got 2, right? And this one can
the
be
other one's
washed.
covered in something else.
Well, you know what?
All right.
You know what? That's what happens when you're in the trenches. And
We're in the
that's what we're
trenches.
doing. We're not at the studio in Chicago. We're in London providing some
He's the
great
one that has to
content with
clean
you
up.
people.
I love the fact that you just celebrated everything that just happened. That is the beauty
You
of
know what? Live
great
in the
job.
moment.
Live in the
Don't
moment.
worry about the crap. Just have some fun.
Yeah.
You don't need a laptop the rest of the
I
trip.
don't.
Yeah.
It's-
What do you do with that laptop anyway?
You're right.
Oh, yeah, I know. Breaking down film. Big film expert
I
over here.
don't do anything with it. I
You
agree.
don't do
I
anything.
do nothing.
He
You
brings
do
up the
nothing.
reads 30 seconds after
Bring
he's
up the
supposed to
read.
do them.
I don't need this. I'm better now.
I'm going to end the show because Braggs doesn't want to. We have a river cruise to go on right now. So we'll thank you, everyone. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And we'll be back tomorrow, right? He says he thinks so. I'll see you later, guys.
We all silly like the mayor.